podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
ThaBoxingvoice.com. All the guys want, I want what Mayweather got. I want what Mayweather got. You done bust your ass like Mayweather. I was trying to fight every fighter. I sacrificed a lot
ThaBoxingvoice Productions
to get to where I got to.
What do you bring to the table?
Let's get this on. Let's do it. Well, it's like this. Wait.
All right, that's it. Hold on. Bernard, everybody calm down.
Man, you know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all. I sacrificed a lot. ThaBoxingvoice.com to get to where I got to. ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another very, very special edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. We will be bringing you a live, in-depth interview with Larry Merchant, Hall of Fame HBO announcer and commentator, just a journalist of the sport, someone who we should feel privileged to have the opportunity to pick his brain and just discuss a little bit of boxing with. So this is what we're going to be talking about today right here on hashtag TBV Podcast. If you're interested, smash that thumbs up button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and drop that 5-star review on iTunes. We're getting busy. We've been busy all day. Third show today. So head on over to iTunes and check out all the other podcasts. Let me head on out to Indiana.
I speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. I can't say it enough. I speak it, believe it.
Two attempts, handed bands over. Sicko hit, shot and miss. Two to stand over. Breadwinner, huh? Look who in the building. Let me check my Instagram. I might be at 1 million.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yo, y'all know we're back here with another one, and it is a privilege to have Larry Merchant on the show today. You're talking about a guy that has a wealth about a boxing knowledge, a guy that's seen the top boxers for generations and generations, a guy who also may have an opinion on HBO and why they got out of HBO, and a guy who had a legendary ring interview with the one and only Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he got a long list of things, so I'm just ready for this interview. I've been looking forward to it all day. So, hey, let's get into it.
Well, we got a few minutes to kick it back and forth before we get the man of the hour on. But, I mean, as a person that has never interviewed Merchant before, what are you most excited to ask him, I guess?
My most excited question is probably just like one of those fanboys questions like, hey, man, what came to mind when you said if I was 50 years younger, I'd kick your ass too? Like, what was your mindset when you was saying that? Also, just the bow out of HBO, and will we see him like doing other things for like other networks? So I'm just I mean, yeah, a lot of things, man. And what does he look for when he's scoring these fights? That's what I want to know.
For sure, man. Well, we got a couple of minutes, about 8 more before we get him scheduled to be on at 3:15, 12:15 West Coast. And if you want to ask Larry Merchant a question, head on over to patreon.com/TheBoxingVoice. Look for Ask Larry Merchant a question, post on Patreon, and make sure to have it submitted at the bottom and have that thing asked directly to Mr. Merchant today. You know, I haven't talked to him in so long. I really don't know where we're going. I mean, we'll obviously talk Wilder, Fury, Joshua, Spence, Crawford. But what else we get out of this man, I don't know.
Hit the groundwork and just be like, hey, man, you've been in boxing for a long time. When was your first year in boxing? And do you remember your first event? And then we just start from there. I mean, he's seen pay-per-view prices. I mean, he's seen the big pay-per-views. Like he pretty much like knows what to expect. Probably, I wouldn't say better than anybody, but he has a lot of knowledge on pay-per-view events. So he probably got another a good opinion about Wilder and Fury.
I'm sure that he's gonna have you know, a bunch of great things to tell us, and you're right about the knowledge that he has. You know, I'm also kind of excited to ask what's the future hold for him. I mean, with the zone and just all these new announcing slots. I mean, look at Sergio Mora landed him a full-time gig. Is Merchant getting the itch? We've used that word on multiple episodes today. Is he getting the itch? You know, kind of like Andre Ward in the ring.
I'm pretty sure that he is. I mean, once you've been doing something that long for your whole life, it'd be crazy not to get an itch to like keep on doing it. And I mean, he's been like a voice on HBO for the longest, so I mean, he's kind of synonymous with boxing now. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, he was at one point, you know. It was good to get his takes weekly. And that's why I'm wondering, is he missing that it, you know, is he getting that itch? Does he miss being amongst the fighters and asking those tough questions that we known him for?
Hey, probably. I mean, depends on like, because some people do something for like a long time and they kind of get bored with it. I mean, I'm not saying that he's bored with it, but at the same time, maybe this HBO going out of business is like a good little break for him that he can like rejuvenate and get his mindset back.
And you mean Larry?
Yeah, Larry. I mean, like for all of them, even Jim Lampley. I mean, he can, you know what I'm saying, take a little vacation, a couple months off, and like judge the field. But he was on I forgot what show he was on, but he said he wasn't really looking for like another job to like do boxing.
Well, Lampley has at least executive producer credits. You know, he's produced a couple of shows. Like I said before, he's produced the Freddie Roach show, and he's also produced his own fight game show. So you just never know what direction he goes. There may be some sort of production route that he can take and bring new content to a new network or something of that sort. So yeah, let me just grab this link. I got a couple of people asking in the chat how to, you know, get to this Patreon post. I'm grabbing the link. I just tweeted it on our official Twitter, and I'm putting the link in the chat.
And y'all gotta understand, man, we do this often, so go ahead and sign up for Patreon. You can sign up for little as $3 a month, and we do this often. Like ask a trainer, ask a fighter, ask a promoter, and now ask a analyst. So, I mean, we do this often, so just be on the lookout for it.
So just real quick roll call. We got Raheem Ingram, Kelly Thompson, Cut West, Ryan Mesa, aka Dempsey, the ringer. And we also have questions coming from Travis Fearson and David Codwell, all Patreon members that submitted their questions for Larry Merchant. We got about 3 minutes. I'm going to pass the keys over to you. You're driving, baby. I'm going to go ahead and get the man of the hour.
Well, y'all, welcome to Michael's Check Hook. You know what I'm saying? We're doing this a live edition, baby. Let me see what I got going for the day. I got an interview lined up with Jerron Ennis at 5 o'clock my time. And I know you guys, I do apologize for falling asleep last night, but I was so fucking tired. I was tired of shit. So hopefully I can get Anthony Yard done today too, because I want to get him done and have his interview out before the other people start interviewing and the shit kind of get like watched, you know what I'm saying, kind of flooded. So I want to have him done today. And also, man, I got some shit, bro. I got Anthony Yard, Connor Ben. I'm really excited about Connor Ben. I'm a big fan of his, big fan of his father. So I just think, I mean, out here trying to work hard, man. At the end of the day, it's all about bringing you guys content. And I enjoy these interviews. That's why you'll never see me do a 10 or 15-minute interview, because I enjoy the conversation and I enjoy the knowledge. So all my interviews are going to be 25, 30 minutes plus. So if you guys like it, enjoy it, go over it and check out Mike's Check Hook, and we can get right into it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live with the Hall of Fame analyst, commentator, all-around boxing journalist, Larry Merchant, the man of the hour. Larry, how are you doing? And just first and foremost, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk a little bit of boxing with the Boxing Voice here.
Oh, thank you, guys. I'm out here in Santa Monica. The fires up the road have been quelled. The sky is clear, and I'm looking forward to the big heavyweight fight Saturday night.
All right, before we get into that particular topic, which is exactly the direction we want to go, I'd like to introduce to you my co-host, Michael Gross in Indiana. Mike.
How's it going today, Mr. Merchant? I'm a big fan of yours. Thanks for your contribution to boxing, and thank you for joining us today for this interview.
Thank you, guys.
Well, let's get right into it, Larry. I mean, just tell us, from your experience, your know-how in the game, how big is this heavyweight fight this Saturday night?
Well, it might be bigger than big, and bigger than big if an American heavyweight, Deontay Wilder, can win a title and show something that makes people want to see him the next time he fights, no matter who he fights. This is a big coming out for him. We haven't had an American heavyweight of the potential stature of Wilder for a very long time. And for most Americans, the heavyweight champion is what boxing is about. You don't have to be a sports fan or a boxing fan to want to know what the heavyweight champion is up to. And for virtually a quarter of a century, since the early 90s, we haven't had one.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Merchant, you cover boxing in an era where heavyweights reign supreme, like with Mike Tyson, Evander, Lennox Lewis. Can you just, like, from your perspective, explain why Wilder is not like that big name yet? Because I mean, the guy really gets in the ring and gives you what you want to see, a guy being knocked out. So why hasn't the American public embraced him yet?
Well, that's a question of how, what, if you're asking me about how Wilder has been promoted and whether he's been in big fights, and even though he's was an Olympian, what is it, 12 years ago, longer? So we were used to dominating the heavyweight division for the whole 20th century. And then all our heavyweights became linebackers, I guess. And that's where they all went. And somehow maybe Wilder has slipped through the cracks because he wasn't designed like a football player and or a basketball player, although he's big enough. And here he is, after all this time, staying after it, showing us that he's got some resilience when the way he beat Ortiz, and ready for a shot to give him the big shot, to get a shot at the recognized heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua.
Now, Larry, speaking of Joshua, can you, for reference sake, come up with another scenario of a super fight, which we consider Wilder Joshua to be, where there was a set venue, where the A side indicated so much or dictated so much before negotiations even started? I mean, obviously with Joshua tied to the zone, we can't imagine that this is going to be a co-promoted fight with Showtime in a application, or am I mistaken?
Well, when these mega fights have happened in the past, the television platforms associated with different fighters have found a way to make it happen because it's good economically for everybody, including themselves. So, for example, should Wilder put on a dominant, spectacular performance and the fight with Joshua is virtually mandated, if not early next year, maybe late next year, maybe both of them would have another fight. But that would be such a huge event. And Joshua has been able to dictate terms because for his last 4 fights, he's averaged about 80,000 paying fans, along with pay-per-view events in Britain. And Wilder has not yet demonstrated that he has that kind of recognition and popularity. So it would be a bigger, the biggest American heavyweight fight in a very long time. And I think it might catch on and transcend the boxing world and make boxing a mainstream sport for at least one event.
Mr. Merchant, have you ever seen a fighter as passive as Anthony Joshua? I mean, he has a conversation with Big Baby, and Big Baby said something about his mom and how bad he wants to fight him and calling him out his name. And also, Wilder has done the same thing. My question is, have you seen a fighter as passive as Anthony Joshua and not really address these guys?
Oh, sure. There have been many fighters like that, but I don't think he's passive. I just think that he doesn't want to play the insult game to show that he's trying to, the other guy's trying to take the food out of his mouth and vice versa. I think Joshua, in his look, his charisma, the way he handles being heavyweight champion, he's often eloquent in discussing fights and the position he's in. Whether he wants to get into a back and forth, we'll see what happens if it's against Wilder, whom I think he would regard as a serious challenger. Big Baby, give me a break.
Really? You don't think Big Baby has a shot?
No.
Wow. Wow. I
Not yet.
I always felt like if neither man can hurt Big Baby, Big Baby stops both of them. His output is just too much.
I guess we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
I mean, but wait.
I think there's less there than meets the eye.
That stamina, man, that activity. Joshua got tired in the 5th with an older man who threw less punches.
Well, I don't know of any serious opponent that Miller has fought and to achieve even a question about how he would do against either Joshua or Wilder, both of whom are far more athletic, far better shape, and have already been tested, already been hurt, and shown they had the resilience to come back and win. Miller has not shown that yet. If he has it, great. But I want to see it before I can believe it.
So no eye test for Mr. Merchant, strictly resume.
No, my eye test is also. I'm sorry, I'm just not that impressed. I mean, not that impressed that he looks to me like a potential heavyweight champion. No.
Okay, Mr. Merchant. Now when you're judging a fight, what do you look for? Because sometimes I have to be honest with you. I don't necessarily agree with some of your scorecards, but at the end of the day, I have to take the back seat because you have more experience in this boxing game than I do.
I'm sorry. Are you asking me how I see this fight?
No, I'm asking you, how do you fight? Like, what do you base your scorecard off of?
Whether I base my scorecard on what? I'm sorry, we don't have a great connection.
No, he's just asking, how do you generally score a fight?
Well, I would say that my general outlook about a prize fight, it's about who puts more hurt on the other guy, and then sometimes that becomes a question of what you regard as the most important part of a particular round, and it can be subjective. Do one or two good hooks put more hurt on a guy than 12 jabs, 7 of which may have landed cleanly? It's a subjective judgment. More often than not, experienced ringsiders agree on most rounds, but not on all. Sometimes a fighter will get credit for winning a round simply because he out-hustled an opponent. He threw 10 or 15 or 20 more punches. He was trying to make something happen. We've seen that with Pacquiao, who consistently in his prime would be the aggressor in terms of how many punches he threw. And if you have a fairly close round, and many rounds in boxing are close, then the guy who is trying to make the fight and make something happen will often get credit for winning that close round.
So, Larry, how do we get this Joshua and Wilder fight? I know you mentioned that in the past, these networks find a way to deal with each other. Can we see that happening in 2019?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I have no inside information. All I can tell you that when Pacquiao fought Mayweather, Mayweather had by that time left HBO. But if he had still been with HBO, they would have found a way to do it. I remember that when Tyson fought Lennox Lewis, Lewis was an HBO fighter. Tyson at that time was a Showtime fighter. It was a big event, and they made it happen. They had some coin tosses on which network showed it live, which network showed the repeat, which network did this or that, so that it seemed equitable. But they're smart people when it comes to money. And if there's money to be made, they'll find a way.
What was your first thoughts when HBO decided to not continue to carry boxing?
It was an evolution. There was an arc of HBO's career in boxing, just like there is with many great boxers. It starts out tentatively. You try something, you're a prospect, then you become a challenger, and then you win a championship, and then maybe you're a great champion and a long time champion, and eventually You get old, and there are new heads of the corporation who have different interests than the heads of the corporation did decades before. And suddenly HBO's real opponent is Netflix or Amazon Prime, neither of which show sporting events. And we have these other digital platforms coming on board. So things change, times change. It's no one event. I think the fact, as I've referred to before, that America stopped producing big global heavyweights was a factor. But I think there were other television and communications factors, and the way the world has changed in terms of the internet and iPhones and where people get their information or even see their events. It all played into it, and so it all came to an end. I don't think there was any one particular thing that made that happen. It was just the way boxing and communications changed.
So, Larry, what do you think has been the holdup between the Wilder Joshua? I mean, we remember Joshua winning the title versus Martin in 2016, and then we hear Wilder immediately trying to get a match with him ever since.
Well, I think there are a couple of things. One is after that spectacular win over Vladimir Klitschko, Joshua became an international star with the star power of putting many asses in many seats, both live and in television. And he's a charismatic personality. Wilder has had one big fight, and the Ortiz fight was a hell of a good fight for him. But go around and ask ordinary people if they know who Deontay Wilder is. And I don't think you're going to get many people in America who do. I'm not talking about the fight fans. I'm talking about ordinary fans. Whereas in Britain and elsewhere in Europe and perhaps other places, Joshua is a big deal. And so that can make it hard to make a deal because Joshua feels he should call the shots. He wants to fight in Britain. Yet Wilder is an American where the biggest money is to be made. But he is not that well known, unfortunately. So that makes it hard to make the fight. And the way you make the fight is you look spectacular. You increase your demand on the part of the media, on the part of fans, to get this on. And we have to recognize that Joshua makes so much money, draws such huge throngs that he doesn't need Wilder. He undoubtedly would make more money fighting Wilder than he's ever made, but he can fight journeyman fighters and make an awful lot of money. So the incentive for him to make the fight is there, but he wants to be able to dictate the terms, and sometimes that makes the negotiations difficult.
So, Larry, how is he any different from Mayweather in his era? I mean, it sounds like the same thing you used to.
Well, look, Mayweather. I don't want to get into Mayweather, but Mayweather is an exception to the rule. Many fighters, past and present, have gone through something similar to this. I think the fight will get made. I don't know exactly when. And again, I think a lot is riding on this fight with Fury, who is also known internationally and also is a big star in Britain. And if he can go out and take care of business and in a exciting way, in a thrilling way, then he will have more negotiating power. That's just the nature of the beast. More negotiating power to make the fight sooner than later.
Mr. Merchant, Manny Pacquiao has recently been announced that he's fighting Adrian Broner. Do you think Manny Pacquiao has enough to beat Adrian Broner? And also, does he have enough to compete with the top guys at 147?
I don't think Broner is a top guy at 147. He was at his best when he was a lightweight and junior lightweight, and he hasn't been impressive moving up in weight against good opposition. So I think that the consensus, the common wisdom is that Pacquiao would have an edge in that fight. But given the ages of both fighters, given the stakes, you can't dismiss Broner. But I think that that the general wisdom is that given the styles, given how Pacquiao has been a welterweight for a decade or so, that he probably will be the favorite.
Larry, let me know your opinion of Usyk and how you see him faring at the heavyweight division. We've seen, David Hayes and Evander Holyfields of the world move up and have success. Where do you place Alexander Usyk's success in the heavyweight division?
Well, Usyk is a very good fighter. Cruiserweight is now at 200 pounds, which used to be a pretty good heavyweight size, if we can recall. Maybe he comes in weighing 210, 215, fighting the super heavyweight size fighters of the present day, and can do pretty well. He's a good boxer. The question will be, how can he take a heavyweight's punch, and does he have enough quickness and cleverness to take down a bigger man? That's something we won't know until we see it, but he's an excellent fighter, and if anyone has moved up in that division to get an opportunity in recent times, it's him. Once upon a time, light heavyweights moved up to fight heavyweights all the time, light heavyweights at 175. And Holyfield was a very special fighter who could do that. If you remember, before him, Michael Moore had been a light heavyweight before he moved up. So it happens from time to time. And he would make a very good opponent in terms of curiosity on the fans' part, maybe generate some serious dollars. And for all we know, that's something that Joshua would be interested in either before or after Wilder.
He took it before Wilder. That's blatantly a duck, right?
You could call it that. It's business. I mean, if he fought Uric in say May, and then fought Wilder in October and November, I wouldn't have any problem with that.
Now, December 8th is HBO's last card. Have you been in any contact with other networks or applications to like work for them?
No, I haven't. I left HBO 5 years ago. I'm retired. I don't think anybody else cares what I have to say. but I'm happily retired, and I haven't gotten any offers. Somebody asked me if I'd rather be working or retired, and I told them both.
All right. So let's talk pay-per-views. When you were still commentating, pay-per-views was alive and thriving on HBO. Both Mayweather and Pacquiao were successful in that venture. But now we have Wilder Fury, Spence, Garcia, Broner, Pacquiao, and possibly Mayweather versus, I don't know, someone in China. So I guess the first one is December 1st. What's your prediction? What do you think this fight does in terms of pay-per-view buys?
Well, that's a really interesting question. And it will be really telling in whether the big fight that we're all looking for happens. You have to understand that if Fury were to win, Fury and Joshua would be beyond massive in Great Britain. I mean, they couldn't have anything bigger. So the result of this fight and how the fight plays out is important. I don't know what they're really expecting for this fight in America, because there will be pay-per-view in Canada and I assume in Britain. But if it does 300,000 to 400,000 in America, I think that would be not a bad showing. If it did 500,000 or more, it would be a good showing, and beef up Wilder's credibility in the negotiation. So I don't know that anybody knows. I haven't read any ideas about it or any numbers from my friends in the business. I understand that the Staples Center itself is far from sold out, which doesn't surprise me. Neither guy is from here. Neither guy is a famous fight character. But I think as the fight gets closer and the hype gets higher over the next week, it'll attract more people. But that is and always has been a factor in making the big fights.
Now, Mikey Garcia has challenged Errol Spence, and it's been announced for March in Dallas, Texas. How do you see that fight going? And what were your first thoughts on it?
Well, my first take on it is I love it. I absolutely love it. I have the highest respect for both fighters. I think Spence is a monster at 147, Larry, one of the best body punches.
I got to interrupt and just remind the listeners that you are the same guy that wanted Pacquiao to fight Canelo.
Well, I thought so, but I wanted him to fight De La Hoya, and he did. And he showed that sometimes speed and cojones can overcome size. But Spence is in his prime. He's very strong, even for a welterweight. Garcia is, I think, just a great fighter, but he's fought at one as a featherweight, now as a lightweight. I think he's tremendously talented. I think he wants to be great. I think he's got courage. And I think this is a very smart fight for him in this sense. When that fight happens, the whole body.
We lost him.
Oh man, I sure was gonna ask him.
We lost him.
Damn, I was gonna ask him, but I had one more question for him too. Can't remember.
Dude, the haters are out.
Hey, they was killing you. Like, hey.
You guys are tuned in just to hate. It's hilarious. You're like little girl.
Ness is getting crushed right now. Look at Ness. He's over there about to cry.
Meanwhile, I'm the one talking to your favorite commentator. You're a little bum.
Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button, man, while we get Larry back on the phone.
You ain't nothing but a chat bum.
If I could remember what the hell I was talking about or thinking about, then it'd be a great question. But Mikey Garcia fighting Errol Spence, and I was going to bring up. Damn, I can't remember, man. Damn, too much weed. But yeah, man, I don't like the fact that he said he thought Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence was a great fight. He's excited for it. Like I've been saying, I'm of the mindset that Errol Spence is just too big. They make weight divisions in boxing for a reason, and sometimes you could go a little bit too far because sometimes the guy is just a better and bigger guy. So I think Errol Spence is going to get Mikey, but I do believe him when he says that he think Mikey can get it done. I mean, maybe he sees something that Mikey sees, or maybe he sees something that he sees himself, and he can.
Right.
Yeah, so we're gonna pick up on the Spence Garcia fight, Mr. Merchant.
I love the Spence Garcia fight. I love it because at a time when fighters don't often, especially elite fighters, don't often look to take risky fights because of the money they can make without having to do that. Here's Garcia willing to jump 2 weight classes, a former featherweight willing to fight a really strong welterweight in his prime. So it's bold, it's risky, but the other part of the equation is he'll make the most money he's ever made. And if he makes a good showing, everybody will heap praise on him. And if he doesn't, they'll just say, well, he wasn't good enough to beat somebody as good as Spence. And he could still go back and fight Lomachenko or anybody else out there and have a great career. You don't have to win all your fights. From my point of view, it's who do you fight? Do you take chances? Do you go out there and fight the best guys out there? And I applaud what Mikey Garcia wants to do.
But do you believe he can do it?
Do I believe he can do it? I believe he can do it. But he's going to be the underdog. The other guy is bigger and stronger and just may impose his size on him. I want to see how the fight plays out. And I assume you two guys will be among all of us who want to see that fight.
Now, I was going to ask you, do we see a Canelo versus Triple G again, or have we had enough of that fight?
I think it could happen down the road. And incidentally, here's another fight I'd love to see. If Spence comes out of that fight, I want to see him challenge Canelo. He's almost as big as Canelo, who is seems like more of a natural junior middleweight even though he's moving up to super middleweight. I think Spence is closer to Canelo size, and then Garcia is to Spence. But in any event, to see a great welterweight fight the best middleweight in the world, yes, I want to see that. I want to see guys take those risks.
Larry, in your time in HBO, did you ever have any influence with conversations like these over certain fights being made, or at least saw
just
after?
Just like anybody else who's really a fight fan or interested in fights, yes, from time to time when HBO had some choices on opponents for one fighter or another, they would ask me, "What do you think of this fight? What do you think of that fight?" I was the one who first suggested that De La Hoya should fight Sugar Shane Mosley when Mosley was the lightweight champion and Oscar had moved up to welterweight. And then I was the first one who suggested Pacquiao to move up, way up to fight Oscar, because I thought to myself, what if we have here our time, our generation's Henry Armstrong? Maybe he's that good. We saw him fight a great fight against Cotto when Cotto was in his prime. Why couldn't he try this? And so sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong, but I just thought that those were fights that fans wanted to see. And weight class fights, and between really outstanding fighters. So I'm always looking for that to happen, and that's why Garcia's brave attempt intrigues me.
So your pay-per-view prediction?
I have no predictions. That's above my pay grade. I know one prediction is I will be there in person.
You don't give a number on how many buys it gets? You said you gave a number for Wilder Fury.
No, because I don't know. I have no idea. It might be 200,000. It might be 500,000. I have no idea. I don't think it's going to be massive. I don't think it's going to get to be 1 million. But I'm no longer in the game. I haven't talked.
We're not looking for inside information.
Promoters or television people.
We're not looking for inside information. We're not looking for inside information. We're looking for Larry Merchant's guesstimation. We're taking it as your guess.
I already gave it to you. I said 300,000 would be good for them. I would make a guesstimation if I had anything for it to go on. I think that would be satisfactory in this event, and maybe I am underestimating it. Hopefully, I'm underestimating it.
Now, Mr. Merchant, Eddie Hearn has started a crusade to try to take over American boxing. What kind of job do you think he can do, and what kind of job has he done so far, in your opinion?
Well, he's got a lot of money to spread around, from what we've read, and it's Russian oligarch money, over $1 billion into starting this new digital platform. They've already signed the heavyweight champion of the box office, Canelo Alvarez. They're negotiating, as I understand it, with Golovkin. They and ESPN both want Golovkin. Can they take it over? I doubt it. But they can have a great impact on the sport. And what they're doing is they're moving the sport to not just globally in terms of discussing the sport. Are there good Japanese fighters? Are there good Polish fighters? But so they're going to a point where they can show all these fighters all the time if you're willing to spend a few bucks a month. So maybe that's where boxing is going, that it will all be in some form of pay-per-view. So that could be a serious change in the economics of the sport.
Now, Larry, you've been doing this long enough to hear the term boxing is dead, boxing is dead. Are you happy to see where boxing is at in 2018, headed into 2019?
Well, it certainly has a number of people and corporations willing to put a lot of money into it. And that's because they think they can make a profit out of it. So somebody's watching somewhere. And, boxing has always been a lively corpse. You can't keep it down. As I once said, you can't save it and you can't kill it.
Now, Tyson Fury came out last night and says after he beats Wilder, he's not going to go back to the UK. He's going to stay in America and become the U.S. pay-per-view king. Do you think that's a possibility, or do you think he's just blowing smoke?
I'm sorry, and who are we talking about?
Tyson Fury.
Who?
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury says after he defeats Wilder.
Look, Tyson Fury is an enormous personality, as enormous as a personality as he is as a fighter. Could he talk his way into becoming an attraction in America? I suppose. I don't think his style as a fighter is particularly attractive. But he's a great noisemaker. He's a very talented, gifted personality. So I don't dismiss the idea, but the only foreign fighter outside of some of the great Mexican fighters led by Chavez, but the only foreign fighter from Europe or Africa or Asia who has ever made a consistent major impact in America is Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao discovered an audience of many Filipinos in America to become the base of his support. And can Tyson Fury inspire the same following in the many Irish Americans? I don't know. But Manny Pacquiao was very special and became a superstar in America. You can't name somebody else who's become a superstar from across the borders as Manny Pacquiao was.
Now, with a win over Wilder, and trying to market himself as the next great white hope, or the great white hope after beating Wilder, that's not enough of a marketing push, maybe?
Hey, the Klitschko's couldn't make it here. Last time I looked, they were both white.
They don't speak as well as Fury, though.
What? Excuse me?
They don't speak as well as Fury. Like, Fury's witty. He's charismatic.
But ultimately, you still have to entertain people. It's like going into a restaurant. If you got to make people think that when they walk out of the restaurant, they want to come back. I don't know if Tyson Fury's got the style that makes you want to come back. Both Klitschko's, it was an amazing story of brothers who were heavyweight champions and appealing, and in Vladimir's case, looking beautiful and knocking 90% of their opponents out. And yet they found they could make more money in Europe. They made more money in Europe than they could in America. Whatever Tyson Fury says, if he should beat Wilder and then should go on and fight Joshua, that would be beyond major in Great Britain. And then, depending on the outcome of that fight, might be the future. But I wouldn't bet that Tyson Fury is going to become an American star. Maybe he should fight Baby Miller next.
What is it about Big Baby Miller that you're not impressed by? I mean,
I'm just chiding you. He doesn't impress me. He's not in particular great shape. I haven't seen him fight a serious opponent, so I haven't been impressed yet. When he goes out there and looks like a heavyweight and fights somebody who I regard as a serious opponent, and an opponent on the top level, maybe he'll change my mind. Right now, I haven't seen him do anything. He's got a good record, but I haven't. But who has he beaten?
Well, Larry, he has a better heavyweight resume than any current champion before they got their title shot. So before Joshua fought Martin,
I don't know what that means.
I'm going to
Wilder
explain.
Is what?
I'm going to explain.
40-something-0?
I'll explain. Before Anthony Joshua faced Charles Martin for the IBF, he did not have the resume or the quality of opposition on his resume that Big Baby has. And before Wilder faced and defeated Stavern, he did not have the quality of opposition on his resume that Big Baby has.
But now we know he beat Stavern, who is regarded as a very solid opponent. And then he beat Ortiz, one of the best heavyweights in the world, who had a real shot at him. He's done that. When Baby Miller fights somebody of some substance, like Stavern was regarded, and so on.
Ortiz,
he'll get, depending on how he performs, I'll be his fan. But right now, I don't regard him as a top or elite heavyweight just because of his record.
Okay. Now, HBO recently had a fight over the weekend. Dimitri Bivol. How impressed were you with his weekend performance? And should he go down to 168?
He's a good fighter. He fought a fighter way past his prime, and won, 10, 11 rounds. How good is he? Is he good enough to capture the attention of American fight fans the way Kovalev did? Kovalev being a very exciting boxer puncher? I don't know. I'm not sure he is. I don't know that he has that kind of star performance quality that for foreign fighters in particular, if they want to make it here. Lomachenko has struck a nerve because he is a kind of spectacular looking athlete in the ring. I don't see anything that exceptional in Bivol that yet. He's still young. He still had only what, a dozen professional fights, 13 or 14. We'll see. I'm not ready to crown him yet, but in the fact is that of all the heavy Russian fighters who have come here, most have been crowd-pleasing fighters, entertaining fighters, and like Kovalev and like Lomachenko. And Lomachenko right now is the one that I think has everybody excited about and wanting to see whether he can fight this guy or that guy.
Is Loma the pound-for-pound king, or is it Terrence Crawford?
I don't know. I'm not a guy who makes lists. I think that.
Come on, Larry. You got eyes now. You know who you see better. Lomachenko right now. I mean, you have eyes, and your eye test. Who is a better fighter in your personal opinion?
Here's the problem. Okay, I see what everybody sees in Lomachenko, how gifted an athlete he is. But until he beats some of the top guys, I'm not going to make him the top guy. He's got to beat special fighters. Now, he hasn't become big enough box office attraction that other fighters necessarily feel they have to go up against him. But he is a superior athlete. I don't question that. But I don't know. I can tell you who's in the conversation. To me, Spence, Garcia, Canelo. You can put Lomachenko and Crawford in there. Those are 5 pretty damn good fighters. And where they rank 1, 3, 5, I don't know. But I'm not very good at making lists like that.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, when it's all said and done, at the welterweight division, 147, who is the last person standing in your opinion? Is it between Spence and Crawford, or could Keith Thurman upset the apple cart?
Well, look, I like Thurman a lot when he was fighting, but he's been injured, re-injured, and hasn't fought in a year and a half. So I don't know how to measure him. He certainly is a talented and I think a crowd-pleasing fighter, but his question marks about him now. I think Spence and Crawford are the best of that talented welterweight group. If you ask me one fight I'd want to see, it would certainly be that. Can it ever happen? I don't know.
Larry, help me here with my narrative and just tell me how you feel. Lomachenko and Crawford, do you feel that more could be done for Crawford's career had he gotten the same opportunities as Lomachenko, or at least the same push from the promoter? Right? It seems like the promoters tried very hard to make Lomachenko a star, whereas Crawford, not necessarily.
Look, I think they pushed Lomachenko very hard. I think he won 2 gold medals. I happened to cover his first fight when he lost to Salido, so he's got a loss there. And what has he got? 12 wins, 13 wins? Okay, he lost. He took on as much as he could chew in his first professional fight. They wanted make a spectacular entrance into the American market with him, and Bob Arum has pushed him very, very hard, and he's turned out to be a hell of a good fighter. But he's not an American, and again, it's hard to make a serious impact, especially in the lower weight divisions on Americans, and so that's going to have to play itself out as well. He's going to have to move up, maybe to 140, and there'll come a time if he moves up high enough that maybe he'll be in more competitive fights. But I think the welterweight division has a lot of good fighters and a lot of potential fights and between them, and hopefully Crawford gets involved in one or two of them.
But that's my point. It's like that's the way that we speak when we speak of Crawford. Hopefully he gets those fights. But when we speak of Lomachenko in his second fight, he got a title shot versus Salido. In his third fight, he got a title shot versus Gary Russell. He has names on his resume.
Because look, he wasn't an unknown kid. He was they were looking. He had won these 2 gold medals. He had a sensational style. Everybody has their own paths, their own trajectories, their own arcs. And let's remember that both of them work for the same promoter. But Crawford has a hometown base of fans. He can always go home and fight, and there'll be 12, 13, 14,000 people in Omaha to watch him. And they'll make some television money. And let's see if one of these big face-to-face showdowns happens for him. I think eventually something will happen for him.
Hey, Mr. Merchant, I want to change gears real quick. I want to talk about a former fighter that was on HBO and turned analyst. Do you believe Andre Ward should make a comeback and take on the likes of Usyk or a Anthony Joshua?
Do I believe he should? I don't know. I once had a conversation with him when he was in that period of time when he was took time out from boxing because he had promotional difficulties and so on. He was a hell of a fighter. And I asked him if when he came back he could step up and fight one of the heavyweights. And he said that he thought that someday he might. Now, will he come out of retirement? I don't know. He's a bright kid. If he's making a good living, and I don't know that he never was the superstar outside the ring as an attraction as he was inside the ring. And so who's going to go looking for him? Would it be a big deal if he came out and fought a heavyweight who outweighed him by 30 or 40 pounds? I'm not sure. I wouldn't dismiss the idea out of hand. But he seems very at home at ringside rather than inside the ring.
Well, those are my questions. I don't want to hold you too long. We've definitely had you on longer than we discussed, but we do appreciate your time as always, Larry. It's been a pleasure. But Mike seems to have one more, right, Mike?
Yeah, I have one final question. I'm just a history guy. I want to know when you first started covering boxing, and do you actually remember your first event?
Well, I remember my first big event, yes. It was Sugar Ray Robinson against Carmen Basilio at Yankee Stadium. I was working as a columnist and editor, sports editor of the Philadelphia Daily News. And I remember it clearly. It was 1957. That's 60 plus years ago. Ernest Hemingway and Joe DiMaggio were sitting in ringside a few feet away from me. It was a big event, and Basilio upset Robinson. Basilio was a hell of a tough fighter and very strong for a welterweight. And they the following year, they had a rematch in Chicago, which I also covered. And Robinson won that fight, mainly with his left hand. He raised welts and a big puffed eye that Basilio could barely see through. Those are the early fights, big fights that I covered.
Was Robinson the best fighter you ever seen?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Larry. Hope to get you back on soon.
Okay, guys.
All right.
All right, guys. It's been fun. Someday we'll try it again.
All right.
So long.
So long. There you have it. Larry Merchant, Hall of Fame commentator, analyst, boxing brain. Yeah, that was fun.
It was better than fucking expect. I was hyped for it, but it even lived up to the hype, bro. Like, God, 1957? Sugar Ray Robinson, what the fuck? Come on, man. Y'all gotta hit that motherfucker. Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button right now. We trying to do this every day. Every day, man, special guest, every day, special interview. So if y'all like it, we love it, and we're gonna keep on doing it.
Definitely was a great interview. I'm not feeling that he brushed off the Crawford. Dude, I have both their resumes pulled up. I mean, Vasil has bigger names.
Come on, man. We same thing I told you last night. Crawford did not come in the game with the same name, but Vasil had 300-something fucking NBA fights.
You're right. Listen, you're absolutely right. But now you know what you have. Now you know he sells in his hometown. Now you know he draws on television. I'm not understanding why they're not able to make the fights that he wants.
Do that now. He tried it previously with a pay-per-view with Postal, and he found out it wasn't the right time then. So he's trying to do that now with Earl Spence, but Al won't let him come over and play.
Dude, how are you still saying that when you heard it out of the horse's mouth? How are you saying he's trying, but Al, like, how dare you say that when you heard Earl say you never called him? You never sent us an offer.
You heard Earl say, why wouldn't I take the easy round? Why wouldn't I fight Sean Porter?
He still told you he never got an offer. So how you just gonna put words in Bob Aaron's mouth and say he sent them an offer? He been trying to do business with Al, but Al what? Al never received an offer?
Is the offer gonna come from Aaron, or is the offer gonna come from Heyman?
But listen to me.
No. Whoa. If it's not in Heyman plans right now to make the fucking Crawford fight, he has no intention, or he wouldn't even dare show Earl that contract. What for?
You're bugging, bro.
I can make these big fights right here and build Earl Spence up.
Mike. Think about what you're saying. You're just saying shit now to, I don't know, just to talk.
I'm not, bro.
Hear me out, bro. You're talking about Al Heyman. How many, in your time reading about boxing, how many hundreds of millions have you heard have passed through his hands? You're telling us right now, live on a show, that Al Heyman is going to withhold information from a client, okay? Because this is all legal, okay? A contract between a manager and a fucking fighter is a contract that he could go to court for. So you're telling me he's going to withhold the contract and offer to make Earl Spence a millionaire because it doesn't suit his agenda?
Whoa. Can I defend myself?
Yeah, go ahead. Try.
It's easy. What is Al Heyman's title?
Manager advisor.
Advisor. And when you have can I motherfucking talk, please, sir?
No, you can't talk until you know, okay? it depends who he is representing. For some, he's an advisor. For some, he's a manager. What are you talking about, bro?
Okay, well, we know Earl Spence has man down promotion. So I believe, I don't know if this was fact, but I believe, and this is where Earl has said in the past, Al Heyman is a advisor. When in finance, you may know this. Sometimes advisors make decisions on your benefit if it benefits you in the long run. So by him fighting a Mikey Garcia, then a Sean Porter, then a Keith Thurman, they can make that money up, and that Terrence Crawford fight will always be there. And it's a big super fight down the road. Right now, Al Heyman understands it's not the right time right now. That little confrontation that we just got, it's only the first of them. It's going to be many more just like that. Trust me.
Mike, where are your facts that Al Heyman withheld this offer?
I don't have facts, bro. I don't have facts. Just like you don't have facts that Bob did.
No, I do. We have a video that has
a fighter said it.
Excuse me, let me finish so that at least the public knows the facts, since you want to ignore them. There is a video of Bob, Terrence, and Earl, and Terrence telling Earl, "Oh, we sent you an offer." Him telling him, "We ain't getting no offer." Bob said, "Al don't even exist." Bob saying nothing about no offer on camera. So why are you just making whatever you want up?
Yeah, Aaron said, "Aha, he does this." I had a meeting with him. You know that he was being funny when he said that. But back to the what Terrence say. So how you gonna say Terrence lying? If Terrence say I sent you one, then Earl say, "Oh, we didn't get it. Oh, we didn't get it." Who's lying? How you gonna say one fighter is lying over the other fighter?
Because you have the promoter in the middle, blatantly
Bob gonna talk business right there in front of all of them. Man, be serious.
No, he don't have to talk business because he told the truth right there. He contradicted himself and laughed it off. He said, "Oh, I know Al exists."
Yeah, he know Al exists because he been trying to work with him, bro. What do you not understand?
Right. You're a shit.
With him.
I'm not gonna go back and forth, bro.
Why would you even bring? You know, Aaron has worked with Al in the past, so you know damn well he exists. Aaron was being funny. He was making a joke. He was being facetious, bro. Come on, damn.
Mike, you can pitch up your voice all you want. You just sound pathetic to me.
Fuck it. I sound pathetic.
You so badly want to believe your guy. It's ridiculous.
How am I badly? Just because you say something,
brother. Where's the contract? You want to make the fight. Who'd you contact?
Have we ever seen a contract in public, bro? Come on.
Brother.
Matt said last night, man.
Let me tell you something. I don't know, man. You just got to do more reading, okay? But Rock Nation sent contracts to Adrian Broner, right? Yes. Rock Nation sends contracts to Keith Thurman and Deontay Wilder, right? Yes. Okay? What are you talking about? When Rock Nation came into the game and snagged up Ward and Cotto, nobody doubted them because fighters were saying, yeah, they sent me an offer. They sent me a 6-fight deal, a 3-fight deal. So we're going to believe them, but we're not going to believe Earl when he says he ain't get it. We're going to believe that only some get it and some don't. Or we're going to believe the same lying promoters over and over. We're talking about fighters, not promoters, because promoters lie. And we've proven that over and over on this show. But the only one who wants to take a promoter's word is you. When
is there more? Because Earl also said in the past, yeah, we sent Danny Garcia a contract. What Danny say? Oh, we ain't getting no contract. Oh, yeah, we sent Sean Porter a contract. What Sean Porter say? Oh, we ain't getting no contract.
Well, do you know what Sean Porter and Ken told me?
Let me know.
That they ain't getting no offers for pay-per-view.
Okay.
They ain't getting no offers for pay-per-view. And if they would have ever got an offer for pay-per-view, they would take it.
What about Danny?
You know? All I'm saying is I'm not believing Aaron. I'm not believing Aaron. I believe the fighters.
All right.
I believe the fighters. And the sad part is that, it's your lack of knowledge. You just got to go check. There's not a like. There's a reason I'm calling him Bradley of this generation. You'll see.
Man, call him Bradley, man. Call him Floyd when he's done, though.
And it's
when he's done, make sure you call him Floyd.
How you gonna call him Floyd when he got the same advice?
When he beat all the fighters he needs to beat, he will be the best of this generation.
How's that gonna happen on that other side with a 7-year deal?
Oh, man, 7-year deal. Then you just adding numbers.
No, I'm not.
I thought a 3-year deal.
No, I'm not.
But signed a 3-year deal?
No, what's his promoter signed to?
But he signed to what?
What's his promoter?
Oh my God. I thought we just said we didn't even fuck with the promoter. I thought we were talking about the fighters.
But you need to,
a 3-year deal, did he?
Open your mind so you can try and learn. Okay? Because right now we're sitting here discussing that the issue is Bob. You got Crawford looking for Earl, meeting up with Earl. So we learned already he's not the problem. You got Crawford telling Earl, nah, we sent you offer. Then all of a sudden, Earl saying, no, where the offer at? There go Bob right there. And Bob tap dancing, shoe shining. So we learned who the problem is. But the problem is going to be the problem for the next 7 years. 7 years. Now, could we get out of the problem? Yeah, if Crawford decides not to re-sign again after his 3 years.
That'll be the smart thing to do.
Oh, now it will be smart.
Yeah, after 3 years, you made the thing that you need to make. You seen Pacquiao get out of his deal. You seen Mikey Garcia get out of his deal. You seen Floyd Mayweather get out of his deal, and you seen what it done for him. Right now, you don't have that necessarily. But can I finish? Before he re-up, I feel like after this re-up, and after this contract plays out, he'll have a name where he can go and demand certain things that he couldn't necessarily demand before this deal.
Check out Mike, y'all. Somehow he wants the listeners to believe that Crawford just seen Mikey get out his deal. Like Mikey wasn't out of fucking boxing for the last 2 years because of Arum. Like Floyd didn't have to pay out the wazoo to get out of the bullshit Arum did. Like Oscar didn't have to do the same thing to get out of the Arum clutch. Like Bradley never amounted and got to do what he should have done because he was in the Arum clutch. But Mike wants us to believe Crawford just seen it, and it's gonna take 3 years now. Man, he knew that before he signed. Get out of here.
Trying a different route. Maybe every route don't work for everybody.
You're right.
Hey man, sometimes we gotta agree to disagree.
You're right. No, the thing is, sometimes you need a promoter to blame.
I mean, sometimes you do, but I don't think. Oh, okay. I see what you're trying to do with it. Okay. Go ahead. Let the fans know. Go ahead. The floor is all yours.
Let them know what?
Go ahead. The little fucking smirk, bro. Go ahead and let them know your fucking narrative.
What's my narrative?
I ain't gonna say it for you, brother.
I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm glad to open up these phone lines. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yo.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
All I know is you're only as good as you beat, man. You're only as good as you beat. When it's all said and done, when Hagler, Duran, Leonard fight each other, ain't nobody gonna care about whoever that other dude is that looked good but never got the fight.
Hey, if you beat all the good people and I beat you, what they say about me?
What you mean? You tell me. Why is he struggling with an identity crisis? Didn't he just beat Undango?
What you mean? Identity crisis?
Yeah.
You ain't see him. He was very comfortable. He's back in a gym training right now.
No. Identity crisis meaning like he
don't know who you are. Yeah.
No, he's not considered the champ.
Who is not considered the champ?
Crawford.
He's considered the number 1 pound fighter in the world, and he has a WBO belt.
Only on biased rankings.
On whose biased rankings?
I don't know. ESPN a la fucking top
90 seconds.
And Dan Rayfield and Ring TV. What are you talking about?
I believe BoxRec has him in like the top 2 or 3.
That's a points.
I mean, but how is points biased though? Then
But that's what I'm saying. See, you either have to know about boxing or you don't. There's no way that Crawford is better in terms of welterweights than Keith when Keith has a better resume.
I didn't say he was the best welterweight. I said he's the best pound for pound fighter.
Yeah, but that's kids.
Seconds.
Oh, no. Mike, I believe Mike Coppinger made that exact same point on
No, little children bring up pound for pound. Me and Larry Merchant, we don't deal with pound for pound.
Okay. Well, I agree. I agree at this moment.
You want to put Crawford at number 1? I'm putting Deontay Wilder at number 1.
I agree with that too. He should be number 1. He got a right hand that don't fucking that nobody can stop. I mean, I totally agree with that.
But he's not on anyone's pound for pound, so that's why we don't have to get pound for pound.
But I totally agree that right now, since Keith and Errol Spence and Keith Thurman have done more at 147 than Terrence Crawford, but I'm just of the mindset that Terrence Crawford would beat both of those guys just off of what I've seen in the ring.
But his promoter hasn't sent the contract over.
I mean, we'll get to it.
10 seconds.
I wonder when that's gonna happen, man. I just don't know. It looks like we got some new callers here. And
if y'all listening right now, man, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. We've been at it all day. We had Nassim Richardson. Then we came back with Paulie the Magic Man Maldonado on this bit. Then we had Larry Merchant, man. And y'all had a little brief segment of me and this argument. So go ahead and smash that
don't skip on Margolis like that. That's crazy.
Hold on, bro. I wasn't finished.
Oh, you skipped him. You skipped him.
Kind of forgot about that guy.
We're gonna go out to what looks like California. 510-478. 510-478. First time caller, who's this?
Hello. It's 7.
Who? 7?
Hello?
Yes, who's this?
I can't hear you. I'm gonna call back.
What up, 7?
Hello?
No, he said he can't hear. He call back.
Marcus in DC.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Voice? Yo, great interview with Merchant. Merchant already told you what I told you before, Ness, man. If he dares to be great, whether he loses or not, he's still marketable to come back down to fight Lomachenko. You know, the one thing that I remember when Lomachenko was signing with Top Rank and he was weighing his options with promoters, he said he's not signing with no promoter who can't get him a title shot within his first 2 fights so that he can go after the title. So this was a stipulation he had put out there for him to even sign with the promoters who were courting him. This wasn't an issue like with Terrence Crawford. As Thomas says, he is fortunate enough for a high-ranked promoter to sign him. We've always talked about him never opening his mouth. Now that he's more of a known fighter, he still won't call fighters out. So this is who he is. This is how he roll, and I think it's less about that Top Rank don't want to push Terrence like that. I think Terrence is like, man, whoever Bob pick, you know, Lomachenko like, hey, man, if you don't do this, you don't get this person, you don't get this person. For me, man, I ain't rocking with you no more. You know, the other part about Terrence signing with ESPN, let's don't forget, because we act like we got amnesia, man. The 2 promoters, and one is a pseudo promoter of the biggest fight in boxing history, is Bob Arum and Mal Heyman. So if the fight presents itself, let's stop talking all that other stuff, because we see they go across the street when it's convenient for them to go across the street. If the fight needs to be made and the public is pulling for the fight to get made, I guarantee you the contract or who you sign with, what network you are on will disappear. Money makes all that disappear. We keep talking like Bob and him didn't already do the biggest fight ever. Like it's not even. I'm past that point where I used to be on that.
Man, you need to stop acting. You need to stop acting like that shit ain't take 7 years.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
No. Hold on, but listen, that fight took 7 years because of Mayweather. My point is this: the public when they demand this
tomato.
Come on, Mayweather was ducking that wreck. Come on, man, you know that.
Bro,
he was supposed to fight that man right after the Hatton fight.
Listen, just like Wilder and Joshua should have happened a bunch of times right after a bunch of fights.
Nah, but it ain't going no 7 years. But the whole thing is the public. But listen, it will happen. You know why? The public people was ridiculing AJ. You know what I'm saying? And AJ is under pressure. See what I'm saying? Mayweather was under pressure, but Mayweather was the preeminent person in the sport, so you didn't necessarily feel it. We talking about people is whether they going to get that nest egg that Mayweather already had. When you was trying to get him to fight Pacquiao was different. See, these dudes are on the come up. Errol Spence won't get that bag unless he fight Terrence. Terrence won't get that real bag unless he fight Earl. You see what I'm saying? Or Thurman, for that matter. Or Thurman, too, because, like you said, Thurman was out of boxing. When he was in boxing, he was looked at as the top 47. You know what I'm saying? So when the public appeal gets to it, because they don't have their money yet, the fight will happen. The fight will happen. I think it should happen sooner rather than later, but I guarantee y'all we can stop talking about this ESPN and Al shit. It'll happen if they need it to happen. I'm out.
Hey, Ness, before we get to another caller, we got a lot of stuff that we should read, brother.
Yeah, let me get to them real quick. I'll do a quick refresh. And just want to thank everybody that tuned in. If you're watching this right now on the live stream, hit that thumbs up button. It helps with the visibility of the show. Kind of lets us know what direction we should bring these topics. First one coming from Unbiased or Biased Boxing Talk. Ness, you interviewed the VP of PBC. He told your dumbass to your face, Spence ain't fighting anyone that isn't on PBC. What more you need? And fights don't get made in the hallway, so stop it. So because Crawford ran up on your man in the hallway, the fight ain't gonna happen. And because a vice president says Spence has inventory, the fight ain't gonna happen. That's what you want me to believe. Well, I'm not gonna believe that, because I'm gonna tell you the same thing that Larry told us, same thing that almost every guest told us today. Money is what talks. And it wouldn't matter about networks. And this is why I keep repeating that if Crawford and his team are serious about proving their welterweight supremacy, they will send a pay-per-view contract over to a legitimate top 5 welterweight.
My God, you had Al Heyman, right-hand man, sit here and tell you.
I never asked him that. I never asked if he gets sent the pay-per-view offer, so knock it off.
I didn't ask you that. I wasn't going to say that. He told you that Earl has inventory to fucking take care of over on his side of the street.
Okay. Okay.
Right-hand man.
Okay. And
whoa.
Is Earl the only guy that Crawford could fight? Is Earl the only guy Crawford could fight? Because I see him fighting Benavidez and Collazo and whoever, right? So he don't got to fight Earl. Earl is busy. You should have got the Earl. You should have got the Earl, but you ain't have a fight, and he didn't have a fight. Okay? Because when Earl didn't have a fight, Crawford chose to fight Benavidez. So now Earl is busy. So send an offer to fucking Danny. Danny ain't busy.
Bro, Earl was out here like I think a month ago or 2 months ago, but before the Benavidez fight, and said on
Earl was out here. Earl was out here before you got
on Black Fight Fan. Shout out Black Fight Fan. He was on there and told them that he had no interest in fighting Terrence Crawford right now. That's what Earl said.
Yo, but why you taking things out of context? Didn't he say later in the interview because he got a fight he can't fucking talk about, and now you found out his Mike
what the fight was though?
Huh?
You know what it was though? So he'd rather fight Mikey Garcia than fight Terrence Crawford.
Bro, listen to me. Listen, I don't think you're getting it. Okay, look, check timeline. Earl has no fight. Crawford has no fight. Crawford signs, fights, defeats David Benavidez. Earl has no fight. Then you find out Earl has fight he can't announce till official. Okay. Now you hear Crawford wants fight with Earl. You already know because you're insider and you frequent YouTube. Earl has fight he needs to announce. So why are you saying, oh, Earl don't want it? He got to fight.
No, sir, Earl didn't want it.
What do you want Earl to do? You want Earl to say, all right, you know what? I'm not going to take this pay-per-view, and instead I'm going to negotiate with Crawford. When Earl was available and Crawford did not send an offer and instead chose to negotiate with Benavidez and then move forward with that fight and have it. Like, I'm not getting why we going back and forth, bro.
I will agree to disagree. I know one thing. Bob Arum is pretty smart by putting Crawford fighting again in the same month that Earl is fighting. So there shouldn't be any excuses after both of you guys fight.
Yeah, he got to ride off someone else's shirt tail.
What do you mean, right on? Nuh-uh. Put the fight in the same month, so it can't be any excuses. Put the
fight in the same month, so when everybody see Earl do his thing, it's like, where's Crawford? Oh yeah, he got to fight with Collazo.
And then when it's done, they can start negotiating for that super fight, right?
No, why don't he take a page out of Eddie book? Start sending some offers now.
Is it working for Eddie?
No, but guess what it's doing? It's changing public perception, though, ain't it? It's like Listen, if you don't put no smoke under Bob, he ain't gonna do nothing. You don't get it, man. I'm not gonna turn blue with your ass. Mike in Connecticut.
What up, Mikey?
I can't believe this
Hey,
dude
what's up?
believes he believes Aaron. This guy is bananas.
What's up, man? Hey, Ness, man, you're out of control, man. You did the interview with the VP of PBC, and he told you to your face, Spence is not fighting anybody that's not PBC. Not only him, you did an interview with Derek James. Derek James also told you that. Not only did Derek James say it, Floyd told you that. Not only Floyd told you that, Spence told you that. So how many people have to tell you that Spence is not fighting anybody besides PBC?
Probably 15.
Sir, what does that have to do with Crawford? What does that have to do with Crawford sending a pay-per-view offer to a top five
let me ask you something,
welterweight?
Ness. Why would the guy that they want to fight is Earl Spence. Why? Because he's perceived as the boogeyman. Danny just lost, right? Porter's hugging his belt, probably going to move and go fight on his own. And fucking Thurman's been inactive, and he's fighting Josecito Lopez. So the only top welterweight is Earl Spence, and that's the one that they want to fight. Wasn't Earl Spence on Twitter saying, what did he say? He said, what did he say? He said, nope, I'm not going to entertain anybody on Top Rank that's not going to, I'm not going to entertain Bob that's not going to throw the guy from Top Rank to me anytime soon. Didn't he say that? And then he was tweeting saying, I need a fight and blah, blah, blah. But when they want to fight him, he starts listing off Mikey Garcia, Porter, maybe Manny Pacquiao, no Crawford in sight. So why do you keep making up narratives like they need to send him a contract when there's been at least 5 people telling you that Earl Spence is not fighting anyone that's not on PBC?
Have they sent an offer?
Why would they send a contract?
Have they sent one?
Why would they?
Have they
Why
sent
would
one?
they if they're
All right,
publicly
I'll
coming
tell you.
out?
I'll tell you why.
I'll
tell you why. Since you're so much smarter than me, I'll tell you why.
No, but just answer the question.
I am. I'm going to use the same. I'm going to use the same metaphor I keep using. Deontay Wilder has publicly said he doesn't want the AJ fight. But what does Eddie Hearn continue to do? Send offers. Try to negotiate. Send term sheets. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Good promoters promote. You can say whatever the fuck you want and live in a ridiculous bubble. Go ahead.
No,
Where's your comeback?
You're the one living in a bubble, man.
Where's your comeback then? Where is your comeback then? Because last I checked, in this scenario, Earl Spence is AJ. The one on the outside looking in, wanting a fight is Crawford. That's why Crawford needs to do the Deontay Wilder and send $50 million offer. You getting it? Are you getting it yet?
Why would he do it?
All right, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it then. Don't do it.
God damn.
Everybody else. Keep fighting everybody else.
Can I answer? Can I answer?
Sure,
Can I answer?
Sure.
Okay, so that's a horrible comparison. Why?
Really?
Because Earl Spence is not even, it is. Why? Because Earl Spence is not even as accomplished as Anthony Joshua. Both of those guys, Crawford and Spence, are on the come up and need each other to solidify their position in welterweight. So why in the hell would you be fighting somebody from 135 pounds when it does nothing for you besides get pay-per-view numbers?
All right, I'm going to tell you, Mike.
A guy that is in the same welterweight.
I'll tell you why. And this is why you didn't get the Crawford, the Earl Spence AJ analogy. Because Earl Spence is not AJ in ticket sales. He's not AJ in viewership. He is AJ
in anything.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Listen, let me tell you. Let me explain, brother, so you can open your mind. He is AJ in the sense that he has the position, right? Eddie and AJ had the position to get all the top, and let me finish so you can get the entire analogy. They were in the position to get all the top heavyweights before having to deal with Wilder. They're still in that position. PBC and Earl Spence are in that position. From this point, Earl fights Mikey, then fights Sean, then fights Keith, then even can fight a Pacquiao or someone that emerges from that. So in this scenario, he is totally Anthony Joshua. So Crawford, who is Deontay Wilder on the outside looking in, wanting to unify, he needs to send the offer.
Okay, but this is why that's a bad comparison, right?
Okay.
Because Spence has been looking to unify, right? While Anthony Joshua is actually unifying. Earl Spence is not unifying. He's fighting a guy from 135 pounds. So that completely just destroyed your whole narrative because you always like to make up different narratives.
But listen,
so how could Earl
Mike,
Spence
how does it
be
destroy?
unifying? No, hold on. Let me just say it.
Go ahead.
AJ is unifying. AJ is unifying. Earl Spence, he's not unifying. So that's a horrible comparison.
Okay.
He's fighting a guy from 135 pounds, right? Hold on. And how long has Earl Spence supposedly been chasing Porter and Thurman? You tell me, how many years has he been chasing those guys?
Okay, so then
while AJ's getting fights anytime that he wants.
You're basing everything on this being a horrible comparison because A, Earl hasn't unified. B, he's been wanting to unify and has not. So again, I'll strengthen my argument by asking you one simple piggyback question. Out of Earl and Crawford, who has the better opportunity to get the remaining belts?
Shit, neither. It looks like neither. Honestly, it looks like neither of them are going to fight.
Listen, Mike, hold on a minute. Mike, listen. Let's just be clear here, all right? We're going to set some new rules because your 3 minutes are up. I'm giving you an abundance of time. So I need you not to answer questions in an ignorant manner, okay? I need you to be real because you know that Keith was calling out all the names he was calling out and Al got them, okay? Danny has one of the best resumes. So for you to sit here and insinuate that Earl Spence with Al Heyman cannot get what he wants, I then cannot take you seriously, give you extra time. So again, I will ask you, I will ask you a serious question and say, out of Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence, who has a better opportunity to unify with the WBA champion, Keith one-time Thurman, and the WBC champion, Sean Porter?
Okay, so let me just say this. You said that Keith Thurman got all the fights that he wanted. Did he fight Paulie Malignaggi?
Oh, no, my God. Right? He got better than Paulie, did he not? Did he not get better than Paulie? Did he not get better than Paulie? Come on, bro.
But also, let me say this.
You're using cheap tactics. Not to answer the question, you're using cheap tactics.
I'm going to answer it. Can I answer it? Let me answer it. So Earl Spence enrolled into VADA thinking he was going to fight Sean Porter next. Did that happen?
That is a false statement.
No, right?
That is a false statement. Excuse me.
Why don't you do your research?
Excuse me. Victor Conti came out yesterday. We talked about it on our Sunday show. It's on his Twitter. And he let you know when Earl Spence signed up for VADA and when he got off of VADA. And he's questioning why that fight with Mikey hasn't been called for VADA yet. So again, you're wrong. He did not sign up when he signed up to fight Brooke, then got off of it, then re-signed up, and then got off of it because he didn't get a shot at Sean Porter. You are a liar. Now, what I will do is bring you back on to see it. Can you at least admit that you made that up? If not, we'll have to move on because I'm giving you an astronomical here.
I don't think
he's there. Oh, he got now. You heard him. He quit. He ain't want no more of that motherfucking beat down.
I mean, what he said kind of made sense though.
What did he say that made sense, Mike? Oh my God.
About the he thought he was gonna fight Sean Porter. That's why he enrolled.
Okay, Mike. So since that sounded like it made sense, show us the facts that show that Earl Spence signed up for VADA for Kell Brook, then dropped out, then he signed up.
Okay, well, that's true. Maybe.
Show me, because you're sitting around here repeating nonsense. Show me when he re-signed up and then re-dropped out and then re-signed up. Come on, bro.
He re-dropped out.
Yes. Listen, he had to sign up to fight.
Because Matchroom.
Exactly.
Matchroom
So what I'm telling you is he signed up then. We all know that. then we also all know he dropped out. Show me where he re-signed up and re-dropped out.
But then, can't they say he was signed up for like 6 weeks and then he's not signed up anymore?
Conti said he was signed up for the Kelbrook fight and dropped out and hasn't signed up.
I thought he said he was also signed up for another.
So then show us.
You gotta get run on the horn. Okay, go to the next caller.
Brandon, Cincinnati, talk to me.
Hey man, shout out to that last caller, man. He was the number straight second. Now, you got to hold that L. I mean, I don't know why you insist on making Bob Arum and them guys at Top Rank waste paper and waste emails. Well, like you said, the vice president said it ain't going to happen no time soon. Derek James said it ain't going to happen no time soon. L. Spence said in the fucking hallway, when I talked to Al Heyman, the fucking boss, he said, I'm going to fight Mikey, then fight the winner of Porter Thurman, then get Pacquiao. But he didn't mention me and none of that. Errol said no. So why would they waste time sending out contracts for a pay-per-view when they haven't done pay-per-view since they've been to ESPN anyway? That was an HBO thing doing pay-per-views. So why would they even waste time sending out a contract when everybody, including Al Heyman, said the fight ain't gonna happen no time soon?
Bruh, man, I don't really care what none of y'all say. Until a contract is sent, nobody don't want the fight.
I mean, just to answer that question, Al said it himself. It's not going to happen anytime soon.
Well, I'm definitely not going to answer that because you saying Al said it, and I never heard an interview with Al Heyman on it.
Errol said when he talked to Al Heyman, he said, I will get the winner. After Mikey, I will get the winner of Thurman Porter, which means after Mikey, he will have yet again no viable dance partners after he's done beating up Mikey Garcia, because Porter and Thurman are going to fight before Errol gets the chance at either one of them. So he'll be right back where he was before the Mikey fight, where he has the opportunity to go and fight Bud, but he won't do it. So I'm saying, he said it. I'm going to fight the winner of that, then probably Pacquiao. Bud said he didn't mention me. He said, no, Al didn't mention you. So, the writing's on the wall, man. Nobody's going to waste time sending out emails and writing up contracts and shit when everybody's saying the fight ain't going to happen.
All right. Well, then don't waste your time, Keep saying you want to fight. Keep saying you want to buy that house and never put in an offer. Keep saying you want that car and never go to the dealer. Keep saying you want that girl, never ask for her number. Go ahead, bro. You keep doing things the way you're doing, you're going to go real far. We're going to go out to Skype, man. Talk to me, Joel.
Hey, what up, man?
What up?
How you doing?
We're good, brother. We're good. Talking boxing. Holler at us.
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Ness, let me use that and the same analogy, just like what you like to say. So, going by your terms, by your logic, that means that Charlo has to drop his contract and then go to DAZN, right?
That's what he's talking about.
I have no clue what you're saying, bro. You got to help me understand your analogy.
I'm saying this. You are saying, or most of the people are saying that Crawford by signing to Top Rank, he fucked himself.
No, bro, we're past that. We're past that. I'm not saying that he should leave Top Rank. I'm not saying he fucked himself. I'm saying if he wants a top 5 welterweight, send an offer.
Yeah, but how do you keep ignoring the fact that those people have saying we don't want that fight right now? They don't want it.
Okay, but you guys are talking about one fight. You're talking about one fight. This is the problem I have.
No.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Just hear me out. You're talking about one fight, and that one fight is Crawford Earl. Why are we still allowing Crawford to fight Collazo when he could send an offer for Danny? He could send an offer for Sean. He could send an offer for Thurman. He could still send an offer for Earl. And it could be the next fight if the offer is good. That's all I'm saying.
It takes two people to tango, right?
Exactly. But does Anthony Joshua need Wilder?
Nez, how many?
Yes or no? Yo, 3D.
Let's use the public perceptions. How did you listen to Danny saying that he want to fight Bud? Have you listened to Kit Thurman saying that he want to fight Bud? All of them people, when they are talking about Bud, the only things they're doing is belating Bud, just like Bud doesn't even exist. Kit Thurman saying himself that Bud has to fight first the people like Kell Brook, people like Amir Khan, then he can talk to him.
Joel, thanks for calling in. But again, this is exactly why you offer a pay-per-view offer. Has any Anthony Joshua opponent turned down the offer other than Wilder? Did Tackham say no? Did Dillian White say no? Who said no, bro? It's a pay-per-view, man. It's a big fight. We're like, Jesus Christ, man. 3D boxing, talk to me.
Yo, Ness.
What up?
It's Gary in Dallas. What's going on, man?
Oh, Gary, what up?
Chilling. On this Terrence Crawford thing, you're still not getting it. All the Al Heyman guys, the Danny Garcias, the Errol Spences, they all have fights. None of them are fighting top 5 welterweight. Not a single one of Al Heyman's guys is fighting a top 5 welterweight. But for some reason, you only give crap to Terrence Crawford for not fighting a top 5 welterweight. But none of the other guys are either.
All right, so I'll tell you this: every Al Heyman welterweight has fought in the top 5 welterweight.
Not recently.
Who's
Pacquiao?
Listen.
Who is Pacquiao?
Oh my God, bro! Come on, come on, Gary. Come on, Gary. Gary, he hasn't even been a fucking client for 15 days, bro. Like, this is the shit that I gotta put up with. This is how ridiculous you guys are to win an argument. Who's Pacquiao for?
No one's being ridiculous. You're just saying that.
He just started getting represented by Al. His fight is coming on the 19th. Jesus Christ.
All right, let me ask you this. So Al Heyman, outside of Crawford, has the top 5 welterweights, right? He's got Spence, he's got Thurman, he's got Porter, he's got Pacquiao, right?
Whatever, Gary, you know what he got. And like I told a couple of other callers before, you tell me who's going to unify first, Earl or Crawford, motherfucker. You tell me that.
I don't think either of them are, but if I had to bet on one of them, it would be Spence because the rest of the belts are all on that side. I agree with you, but I don't think that's going to happen.
You're saying Spence because you're not dumb. You don't think neither will. You're lying about that and telling the truth about who?
No, not lying about that.
Fuck out of here,
I'll make you a bet right now, I'll make you a bet right now. In 2019,
Gary, don't make me no bets. You know why? Because you're proving again that you're not knowledgeable. Because Al Heyman came into this business as the guy to get you the fight that you can't get. Stop acting like he didn't get.
How does that matter? Like, they're not fighting each other.
What are you talking about? He's a proven. Yo, Gary, proven. I'm not even gonna deal with you. I'm not. You got 33 seconds. You good? You'll kill yourself with the timer.
Yeah, see, that's what you do, right? Once somebody gets real with you, you run away. Al Heyman has the top 5 welterweights in the world besides Terrence Crawford. None of them are fighting each other. That's an embarrassment. But because you like Al Heyman and PBC, you're okay with it.
Sure, Gary. I'll just kill you after your time is up. You got 10 seconds.
Sounds good, Ness. Run away. Put your tail between your legs and run away, bud.
All right.
Put that scary ass up, Ness.
So,
no. Don't get tough when he leave. Go ahead, go to the next caller. Scary cat ass.
You should just learn something. Okay, I'm gonna give you a little history lesson here. All right, Al Heyman, Mike, and you should start asking people since you're interviewing daily, multiple times a day. Ask the question whether it's on the record or off, just so you can learn something. So when you hear stupidity like this, you can call it out and you can teach your listeners. Value the people that are paying attention to this show on a daily basis, okay? Because when Al came into this game, he came into this game getting that man, most known as the black fighter, first and foremost, who couldn't get the big fight, he would get it for him. We'll just start with his resume. He got Vernon Forrest.
Yep.
The multi fight. Not once, but twice, right?
I seen that Sam Watson interview when he talked about that.
Okay, so let's keep going. Now there's a lot of fickle boxing fans. So let's fast forward a little bit. You know, let's fast forward a little bit. He made Floyd who Floyd is. Floyd calls him his father.
Absolutely.
Okay? Let's fast forward a little bit. A guy that can't speak any Spanish, any English, only speaks Spanish, defected from Cuba, known in the boxing industry as a runner, got the Canelo fight.
Laura.
Okay. A little known junior middleweight, southpaw, which is always a tricky situation when negotiating. Got him the Miguel Cotto fight.
Austin Trout.
Exactly. Should I go on about the number of fights that he has promised and has made happen for his fighters? So for anyone, this is why I cut you off. This is why I don't got time to listen to your stupid ass shit. Because there's not been one other, you can't name one other guy in boxing that's gotten his fighters the amount of opportunities that they've asked for. Fuck setting them up. Fuck setting them up. Fuck, oh no, yeah, Bradley's good. No. Did he get what he wanted? Did he get what he asked for? You are that man's client. Did you give him what he wanted? No. Does Al? Fuck yeah. Now, there's some people that Al hasn't been able to make happy. You know? Amir Khan never got the Pacquiao, never got the Floyd fight. But who knows? Amir Khan has always moved on his own accord. Look, there's a Pacquiao fight available, but where is Amir Khan now? Aligned with Eddie Hearn. Sometimes you can't be moving faster than you should, you know? But tell me who he hasn't gotten the big fight for. It's ridiculous for anybody. I mean, Daniel Jacobs, he didn't get that. Everybody sits here and says how Daniel Jacobs isn't a star, Mike. They say he's not popular, Mike. They say he's not interesting, Mike, but he got Daniel Jacobs a pay-per-view fight. That is the pinnacle of boxing for a fighter. Absolutely. No, Al Heyman dick rider. And Al ain't never going to unify for Earl. He's got Earl over there. He's begging for a fight. Man, shut the fuck up, bruh. You don't know shit about boxing. You just talking because God gave you a little hole in your face. But if you was in front of me, I'd punch it.
I mean, see Earl fight these top 147s, though. He's been calling for it for a little while. Let's see him get in the ring with him.
But Mike, you act like you don't know what's going on. You don't. Do you not live in this reality? Is not this reality a reality where Keith Thurman has been out for 2 years and where Sean Porter has been paying mandatory fees for 2 years to get his mandatory position, the same way that Kell Brook got his mandatory position, the same way that Earl got his mandatory position, the same way that AJ got his mandatory position. But somehow, some way, the PBC detractors want Sean to say, nah, don't do that. Don't do what Earl did. Don't do what AJ did. Don't do what so many before you did. Just go fight Earl. Just go fight him. Just go fight him right now. Go fight him. Go fight him. But now you're Sean laughing at y'all dummies. Because now he like, I got the WBC belt, and now Earl fighting Mikey on pay-per-view. Guess who's going to be fighting me in pay-per-view next? I am. Guess who's on the outside wishing he could get that fight? Crawford. No matter how you want to pin it up, how you want to turn it, look at it, he on the outside. And until his promoter starts sending some offers, he gonna stay on the outside.
Bob not gonna send an offer till it's gonna be proven that Sean Porter and Earl Spence or Sean Porter and a Keith Thurman rematch does good numbers.
And that might not do it. Listen, I mean, look, they might have to just pay Sean big dough, right? Because I mean, Sean and Danny's numbers weren't that good on TV, right? Didn't do like 6.
I thought it did a little bit more than 6. Danny and Sean Porter.
Who was the one that did 6? I thought Sean versus somebody did 6, right?
I don't know, man. I know Mikey Garcia did 680 with his last fight, I believe. No. Him and Easter did 680, but him and Broner did like 980.
Well, man, we'll see, bro. All I know is I'm gonna stick with the team that's been doing, been getting their guys the big fights, man. I'll stick with that.
I hear you. We're gonna see.
I'm just saying, bro. What big fight had? That's why I keep bringing up the Lomachenko. It's like Lomachenko get them big fights. Bob going out making sure them shits happen for that dude. But who else? Oscar Valdez unified? All right. Ain't he in the same division as like Mares, Quellar, Leo Santa Cruz, all them dudes?
Don't give me the. I don't know what.
I pretty much think he is, though. What about Gilberto Ramirez? Ain't he under the 68-pounder with David Benavidez and Caleb Plant and I don't know, a bunch of names, just a bunch of names. Who he's been fighting?
Got a rematch with Jesse Hart coming up.
Exactly. In-house. Sounds like Terrence Crawford versus Jose Benavidez. In-house. Like, when y'all gonna wake up? I don't know.
Is Terrence Crawford versus Luis Collazo in the house?
The fact that you bring it up, like, Amir Khan beat Luis Collazo what year?
A couple years back.
I mean, come on, Mike. Whatever, man. Whatever.
He's advised by the same guy.
No, I hear you, brother, man. I hear you, man. I hear you. It's hard out here for a pimp. I know that.
Follow me on IG at Grouse1911 or on Twitter at Grouse2312. You know what I'm saying? Getting in this all day. You feel me?
I know it's hard out here for a pimp.
Hey, man, you want to do never mind. You probably got something to do. I'll do this.
We got some super chats, right? We got, let me see. Jack Kilsby, Wilder, number 1, is this the same guy that gets dropped shadowboxing? Please stop. Kaz, epic day, great content. Salute from your moderator. Pound for pound boxing channel. Bud is happy beating C fighters, scared to be great. Jack is the truth. Worst thing that could have happened to the chat is giving Kaz a spanner. He's acting like a right tool. Power changes folk. And Jack is the truth. Ness, become a promoter since you're so clued up. I will. I would make some great fights for these guys. They don't know. But yeah, man, I am your host, Ness GTO. See you in LA tomorrow. Fight week, Wilder Fury. We in there. Peace.
Yeah, peace out, man. Y'all be on the lookout for the Jerron Ennis interview. Should be dropping sometime tonight.
Hell yeah, Jack got not Jack. Kaz got everybody mad. They mad he got the wrench. Y'all haters. Haterade. Peace. Mike, say goodbye.
Peace out. I'm doing something, bro.
What you